Now, tonight's adventure into the unknown.
Shut up and sit down.
Looking back on all this, as a person, I've grown from a very angry guy back then. And my time in prison taught me to just relax. And if I hadn't have gone through all this other, I wouldn't have my wife and I wouldn't have Bellatrix. And I'd say it was definitely worth it.
You are listening to Sarge Approved. It's me, Sarge, and I'm here with Frenzy.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
We have a guest tonight.
Yes, we do.
Mr. David Gant. How's it going, David?
Going great, Sarge and Frenzy.
Hi, David. We've been super looking forward to chatting with you. Just because I feel like I'm a good believer in like finding out who good people are, and I can just tell you're one of the good guys. So I've been looking forward to it very much.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
We are David Gant. Where are you coming to us from tonight?
I'm coming to you from Jacksonville, Florida.
Thank you for being on the podcast with us this
Yes,
evening and
thank
sharing
you.
your time with us.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Me and Frenzy are have been looking forward to having you on, and let's tell our listeners a little bit of your background, because you do have a notorious background, my friend.
Yeah, I do. It's an interesting story.
Notorious, interesting, or just your story, whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah, it's super interesting. It's kind of crazy how in the movie there's a lot of things that didn't actually happen, right? They seems like they're going for the joke a little more than getting the story straight.
Oh yeah. Well, it's one of the questions I get a lot. How much of the movie is true, and how much of it is made up? And like most movies, they say, "Oh, it's based on a true story." Well, yeah. It is. But Hollywood, likes a big, elaborate story, and they like things that are a little over the top. When they contacted me, basically they wanted me to come and talk to Zach. He wanted to hear me speak.
Yeah, I should probably say to our listeners, they're like, "What movie are you talking about?"
We're talking about
the movie Masterminds. Yeah. That it had Zach Galifianakis and Kristen Wiig and all that, but Zach Galifianakis played your part. He played you.
Yeah.
And
and it was like comedically exaggerated, I think is a good that's how I would describe it.
It was about the 1997
October 1997.
Yeah, it's coming up on 20 years, dude. Loomis
He's
Fargo
like, I know.
armored truck heist. You successfully orchestrated. No, you didn't orchestrate it, really, did you? You tell us the story. You jacked like $17 million from those guys.
$17.5 million. It weighed over a ton.
Oh my gosh!
And the pile was 3 foot high, about 9 foot long, and filled up the back of a F-350 van.
Jeez.
That had to have taken hours.
It did. It took a lot of work.
I bet.
And
I'd be like, I need to take a nap.
And it was just you. You were the only one chucking bales of money into the back of a van.
Yeah.
For hours. Jesus.
For about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours straight.
Jeez.
And they kept bugging me, like, "Are you done yet? Are you going to come out?" I'm like, "When I'm done, I'll come out. Just chill."
Yeah. You need to be quiet. I'm working here.
Who is on like a radio or something?
No, they see, this was back in the early days of cell phones, and I had this Nokia, and they would call like every 5-10 minutes. I'm like, I'm busy.
Cell phone back then.
9,000 degrees in this warehouse, and you're calling me every 5 minutes.
And I'm trying to get stuff done here. Stop calling me. You're interrupting my flow.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
So the dudes that were in on it with you, they were calling you.
Yeah, they were calling.
They were just calling to get like
Just
progress and like or
bugging you.
say like, come on, we need to whatever.
Yeah, you're doing all the work, and they're sitting there calling you, like slowing your ass down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they wanted me to take like $1 million and just run out. I'm like, if I'm going to throw my life away, we're going full tilt, buddy. We're going to get it all.
Yeah, we're going all in.
Yeah, you're gonna make it worth it.
Yeah. I'm not going to rob a 7-Eleven, okay?
No, right?
That was. I wasn't going to piss everything away for pittance.
No. That would be,
That took some balls, my friend.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine what was going through your mind during that hour and a half that you're chucking bales in the back of a van.
I guess it kind of comes from like it's almost a military mindset. I've decided I'm going to do this, and it's kind of see the hill, take the hill, let's go.
Yeah.
Once I threw that first bag of money in there, I'm like, well, I might as well throw them all.
I'm invested now. I gotta finish it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
I get that.
You mentioned you're a veteran, right?
Yeah. Desert Shield, Desert Storm.
Army vet. Huh.
Yeah. Hoorah.
Hoorah's the Marines.
I like them too. I got a lot of Marine buddies.
It's more fun to say hoorah than huh.
Hoorah.
Why can't they just all be the same?
I don't know.
Why do they have to be separated?
Well, because nobody likes the squids or the fly boys.
That's true.
I know, but why do
there's always got to be teams.
People that serve our country have to be separated? That's kind of weird.
Yeah, got to have their neat little departments.
No, I know.
So we got to rewind this a little bit because I'm curious to hear like your story, and you've probably told this story 1,000 times.
At the very least.
At the very least, yeah. But we've never actually heard the story.
Yeah, but you can also tell it in a short way or however you want to. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. Like, we're just here to talk and chat and listen to each other and whatever. So whatever you want to do.
Well, I mean, there's like 3 versions I usually give. One takes about 3 hours to tell. That gives all the details and all my thoughts and all that crap. And I think we'll go with a middling version.
Okay.
A medium.
Yeah. We'll shorten it somewhat.
Okay.
Let me think a second. Probably about 6 months before it all happened, me and Kelly were talking, and we were, I think this comes from my time in the military, just observing security, and it dawned on me how easy it would be to rob Fargo. And we were just I thought it was just idle chit chat. I said, with as few people as we have working here, and the way things are set up, it would be easy to rob this place. Really, I mean, you've got access to the inside. You've done all the hard work. You're inside.
Right.
I bet you every single employee who's ever worked there has at least thought about that at some point. Everybody has.
Guaranteed. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
You have no idea. It's a rolling joke. Or it was.
Yeah, I bet.
Everybody joked about it. Even, at times our manager did.
Yeah.
One time at the place, there was a big garage door to let the trucks in and out, and it broke and got stuck in the up position.
Jeez.
And we're wheeling money, getting ready to transfer to the Federal Reserve, and our manager's out there helping us. He's like, with this basket right here and wheels, I could just wheel it right down the sidewalk there. and that's the kind of work environment we work in.
Yeah.
After I had that conversation with Kelly, she comes back and says, would you really rob Fargo? I'm like, I'd have to put some thought into it and pick the right day and right time.
Right.
Well, back then, I hate to admit it, but I was not a very nice person, really. I guess the easy term would be to say I was an asshole.
Yeah, you're only like what, 27?
Yeah, I think at that age, males really got malfunctions usually.
Oh, absolutely. I believe that. And women too. Like you.
Oh yeah, 'cause
yeah. Go ahead, keep going.
At that point, you're really not far out of being a teenager, and your mind hasn't fully caught up with your life yet.
Right.
You know.
Absolutely.
And so I went home and I was thinking about it, and I'm going through our letters and stuff, and I'm looking at our credit card bills, and I'm thinking, at my age, I should be further along than this, really. And I was still stuck in a mindset that everything was about me, because I'm an asshole, and I was just like, living in the Caribbean wouldn't be bad. How would I do it? And I sat down and I picked up one of my notebooks and I started making little notes. Best time. On the weekends, good. I need to be working in the vault. Either Friday night or Saturday, best time. And I just kind of started working out. Okay, how much money do I need? Like for myself, I need about $5 or $6 million. And then I started doing some mental math, and I realized that $5 million in 20s is a lot of weight.
Yeah.
How much do they keep in it at one time? Like, how much was in there total, you think?
That night in cash, there was probably around 30 or so million. I only had access to, just a little over half.
Right.
Gosh.
That's crazy. So yeah, you have to think about like how if you need this amount of money to go wherever you want to go, you have to physically carry it with you. So realizing like how you're going to work that situation out, and then also in your head, like where did you feel like you wanted to be that would make you happy and just kind of have that enjoyment kind of thing that you were looking for.
I knew I'd have to get out of the country. So the next thing I did was I hit the library and I started doing research.
That's awesome.
Dude's a planner.
I did research.
I love it.
On banking laws, and I found out how lax the banking laws were in the Cayman Islands.
Nice.
And how easy it was to start a corporation. And I figured, once I incorporated, I could, travel and bank anywhere.
Yeah.
Start laundering it.
I think back then their interest rate was around 8%.
Wow.
So I could have lived okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was really smart of you to even check that out.
You're thinking like just for you, like you're just gonna do it all and go, right? At this point, like you weren't planning on anyone else being fucking.
Not at that point. I was just kind of putting together a plan in my head.
Yeah. Right.
And while I was doing my banking research, I came across a book that was talking about. I wish I could remember the name of the book, but it was about the FBI.
Okay.
And it gave a lot of their statistics and how they investigate. It was kind of like a look inside a FBI agent's mind. It described it was mostly a statistical book, but it talked about how most criminals never get outside of a certain circle, their like area of comfort.
Right.
And if you get outside that bubble, I think back then they said 250, 300 miles, the chances of being caught decrease the further away you get.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is brilliant. I can just get outside that bubble in the first 12, 15 hours, they're going to have trouble finding me. And that's was the basis of my plan.
And this is a book. And this was a book that you read back in like 97-ish time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to find it for you super bad.
She's an investigative reporter here on the Sarge Proof podcast.
So it's basically FBI investigative, like insight to statistics kind of situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
You found it?
No, I didn't find it. That's what I'm looking. I'm not going to give away my secrets of how I find information.
She's got like a magic. She's got a magic laptop, David.
Well, these days, if you can pull up Google, you can find out all kinds of cool.
I know.
Oh, absolutely.
She knows how to find that stuff like really quick, though.
This is going to sound sexist, but have you ever realized that women can Google stuff way better than a dude?
Yeah,
my wife.
I could see that being true, I guess.
Because we're more detail orientated, so we can add an extra word, descriptive, adjective, or verb that makes the the search found easily.
I think it's magic.
Nope.
I think it's just magic.
Nope.
Nope.
I think it's the way that women think. Men think in a straight line, and women think like spaghetti. Everything's connected to everything else.
It's all over the place.
And that's just the way they think. You know?
Yeah, I agree. Plus, like, do you or your wife have any interest in like zodiac stuff, like your sign and how that relates to your life, or not so much?
Yes, we do. We find it very interesting because I'm a Libra.
Oh, yeah. I do too. Okay,
I'm a Libra.
You're a Libra, and what's your wife?
Hang on, I forget. I think she's a Pisces.
When's her birthday?
Hey, woman, what's your sign? What's your sign, woman? Tell me the damn sign.
That's the first thing you ever said to her when you met her, wasn't it?
Or just ask
hey, woman,
her
what's
birthday.
Your sign? Then we got married.
She says she's a Gemini.
Oh, she's a Gemini.
Yeah,
okay.
She says the corniest pickup line ever, but yeah, she's a Gemini.
Okay, hold on one second.
Are you looking to see if they're like a match made in the stars?
Libra man and Gemini woman. Here we go. I love looking up this stuff. I don't know why. It's weird because I feel like half the time it totally fits.
They make it fit.
Can I read just like 2 minutes, like not even 2 minutes, like a minute?
What?
Just a little synopsis. David, are you down?
Sure.
Okay.
Go for it.
So it
ain't going to change.
No, I know. It's not going to change anything, but it's just like a little insight or interesting or whatever.
Woman, we got to break up. Francie said that our signs don't match.
No.
Yeah, Francie said you're incompatible. You got to get the hell out of here.
Sorry, babe.
No, I'm not saying anything. I'm just the messenger.
On your way out, hand me a beer.
David had no idea what he was getting into.
Okay, so Gemini woman and Libra man love compatibility. The association of Gemini and Libra is a very stimulating one. Both of them feel each other's need for communication and enjoy plenty of social and mental stimulation. There is...
What are you doing? Oh my god!
I mean, one more sentence, I'll be done. I just like finding out about this stuff because now I get him I understand him a little bit better now. There is considerable respect between the two, but Libra can find Gemini less romantic, and Gemini may feel Libra to be very much demanding in the relationship.
Frizzy is out of control right now.
That's all right. It's funny as hell.
Oh my god.
So just listen to that advice, I guess. Don't follow it or do or whatever. But I like reading about like people's zodiacs because Sarge is a Leo, and he's a complete Leo. Like if I were to look up Leo right now and read it to you, you'd be like, "Oh my gosh,
I'm a mother effing lion."
Yeah.
Grr.
Yeah. But there's like traits that go along with it, and I'm a Cancer, and mine is. Like I couldn't even it's weird to me. I feel like mine's totally fitting for me as well. So anyways, we can stop talking about zodiac stuff, but I just find it interesting. I don't know. Sorry.
That's hilarious. You are adorable. All right. What were we talking about?
Well,
one of us was robbing a bank or something. I don't know.
And he talked about where he was going to go, and that was the Cayman Islands because he had researched being able to invest money and the interest rate, and that was going to be like actual like I'm going to make this like a thing. Like I'm just going to go there. I'm actually going to go there and make money too.
You were planning it down to a T.
And I thought, okay, how do I get to the Cayman Islands?
Yeah. How do you get there?
I thought, I'm going to need to get out of the country, so I need to find a spot.
Like right away.
That's reasonably close to the Caymans and within reach, by boat or something.
Yeah.
And I picked Cancun. I thought, it's 340, 350 mile, almost a straight shot from Cancun to the Caymans. I thought, I'm a reasonably smart fella. I'm reasonably capable. I can do that. And that was, the most of the plan.
Plus, Cancun's a busy kind of port anyway, so no one's going to really be paying attention to anything that you're doing there. They're just, hey, do you want to buy some cocaine, or do you want to get a hooker, or do you want to buy whatever? Like, they're just all about that stuff.
Pretty busy in October still?
It's busy all the time. Like that's what they survive on is tourism.
I believe.
Yeah, they're not gonna notice one more gringo.
No, not at all. So. Okay, so then that was decided, and that was a good decision. I feel like. And then what happened?
And I realized I was going to need a fake ID of some sort, and yeah, my old lady's over here laughing at me because she's heard the story too many times too. But
tell her we said hi and thank you for sharing your time away from her with us.
Yeah, thank you for letting us borrow your husband.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, they're saying thank you, baby, for sharing your wonderful husband with them
and taking time away.
To work on the honeydew.
Go away, woman. I'm doing important. Be gone.
I love it.
Where was I? Oh yeah, and so a few weeks passed by, and Kelly calls me, and I'm like, "You got any friends that could maybe help me with a fake ID? I've got a plan. I've got a plan in my head, and let's talk about it."
Yeah.
And she went and talked to her buddy Steve, and he's like, "You think you can talk him into it for real?" And I'm not sure how their conversation went. And
that's where the whole plan had its first. That's where it all went wrong, right there.
Yeah, that's where it begins to go off the rails, and it's not even started good yet. And so eventually we pick a date, October 4th. Yeah, October 4th.
October 4th. Mm-hmm.
And I go into work that day, normal. Matter of fact, and I said this in several interviews. That morning on my way to work, they played that song, "Take the Money and Run."
No way.
Oh, that's fine from the God.
Yup.
Take the money and run. That's my cue.
That's funny.
So, I went through my normal work day. I was one of the openers at Loomis Fargo. Put on the bulletproof vest. They give you a sawed-off shotgun, and you clear the building before anybody else comes in.
Really?
Got a radio on your hip, and
Wow.
you go through all the rooms, and you click the mic twice, and you start buzzing people in.
Has anyone ever tried to break into that garage before? Like, you got to clear the building. Has people broken in before?
Well, you gotta. If you knew Charlotte and knew where that building was, you'd be like, in that neighborhood, probably. We had someone try to crash the big garage door, only to find out that they parked the big Federal Reserve truck right there at the garage door.
Yeah,
and that thing weighs like it's got real armor in it because they carry like 110 million at a time, and it's a huge thing.
Oh,
that's crazy.
And so it barely made a dent.
Yeah. So I wonder if they got all jacked up when they slammed into that thing.
Oh, I can't imagine. It would be crazy.
I mean, that would have grabbed you by the boo-boo for real.
Oh, my God. Okay, so, wow, that's crazy. So you had to clear the building every time you went in.
Yeah, every morning I cleared the building. And went through my normal routine and talked to Kelly around lunchtime. I was like, everything's cool. I figured out how much money we're going to get and just be ready.
Be honest, how nervous were you, dude?
I was pretty nervous.
Oh my God! Do you think you were acting cool? Do you think, Ann? Did you feel like you were acting normal, or were you just like, oh my God, everyone knows?
I'm like, yeah, it was like that. I was like, I hope no one notices that I'm sitting here in the fan and I'm sweating in October, and I'm trying to. You know how when you've done something wrong or something questionable, you're like, I'm going to act normal. I'm going to act normal. I'm going to act normal.
It's impossible.
And you end up acting,
super defensive and like, what? What do you mean?
But like, you probably are acting normal.
Right,
to
but you're
everyone
just
else,
paranoid.
Nothing's out of the ordinary.
Nope, but in your own head,
you're totally
paranoid.
Oh my God, I can't imagine.
Yeah, because most people don't pay any real attention. They're oblivious.
Well, yeah, and plus it's
they
not
got their own things going on in their brain.
Right. Plus, it's not something that you do every single day where you're like, oh, it's something I probably shouldn't have done, but I made the choice to do it, and I'm owning up to it, and I'm talking about it. But like, it's not like you do that every single day. Like, because then eventually, if you did that every day, like, you would not be a good person.
You'd be pretty amazing if you stole $17 million every single day.
Yeah, you
plus you would have money going.
Plus, you would have like super huge muscles, like calf muscles, because you'd be carrying the money around in your pants.
Where is this money going?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Oh my God. Okay,
you got some really bad habits,
right? Oh, that's awesome.
Finally, after a couple months of it being gone every day, they're like, "All right, David, we gotta let you go."
We feel like there's something going on.
We got a serious problem here.
You stole like $300 million. We were cool for a while, but now we gotta let you go.
You're no longer a tax write-off. You gotta go.
So when you worked there, did you get to let? I'm assuming it was kind of like a normal kind of job where you just got to go have like your lunch break and like your snack. But did you ever get to sit in like the vault and like have some like beef jerky or something?
No way.
I would just sit there and be like, I would have a snack and I'd look at that money and I'd be like, I don't even know what I would do with that.
No way. They don't just let you. They don't let you just chill with the money.
They don't.
Right?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
No. When I'd work the vault, I'd bring a cooler and my lunch.
Yeah.
And I would, one time just for fun, I propped my feet up on about $4 million. And
heck yeah! That's what I'm asking you. I love that you did that. That's amazing.
I'd make a chair out of the stacks.
Oh my gosh, I love that you did that. That was like my.
In the same vein, one of the guys I worked with, he was a single father, and he couldn't get a babysitter. So he's like, "Well, can I bring my kid?" I'm like, bring him on in." And brought the kid in there and put a vest on him. I set him on a bag of it was about $1.5 million, and put him on one of the carts.
That's
not my money. Hey, have a ball.
So
that's awesome. I love that.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, my last messenger came and went, and I went to closing up, and this guy Corey was supposed to stay with me until I finished everything out. And he's like, "You got this?" I'm like, "Yeah." So he left, and I pretended to lock the vault. I just pushed it shut so it looked locked. And I followed him out, went to my truck. He went to his car. As soon as he pulled away, I turned around, went right back in, and started loading the van up. And about 2 hours later, many phone calls in between.
I've been just exhausted.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And I did a little victory dance and drove on out.
And in the movie,
the van crashed.
They friggin' Hollywooded it up.
Yeah.
And they had him like crashing through that door, that garage door, like flying through the air. None of that happened.
No, that would have set off every alarm in the city.
Right.
No, it was very, very quiet. Closed the garage door, drove downhill, opened and closed the gate, took a left on the street there, and drove off.
And said laters.
But you made a mistake, dude.
Yep. I didn't know about one of the tapes. I grabbed them all but one. They had one hidden. I thought I had edited them all out, and they had one stashed. Mm-hmm. They had one stashed up in the food, and I didn't find
that one tape.
But yep.
Yeah, but you also had to go. But you also had to go through some other stuff after that too, like not just.
Yeah, you got screwed over, dude.
Because afterwards, where did you? Right after that, where did you end up going?
I can't remember the name of the place, but back then it was a aluminum recycling place on the other side of Charlotte. Mm-hmm. And I pull up in the van, and I hit the horn, and this dude walks out from behind a tree, and I hand him the keys. I said, "This is the only set of keys to this van. Do not lose them. Don't mix them with the other keys. Don't lose them." That bit of the story comes back to haunt them later.
And
foreshadowing.
I want to pause you for a second though, because you are like, I feel like you're totally a planner. Like you were like, this could happen, so I need to make sure that I let them know this, or just I've heard you talk about stuff, and I'm a planner too, and I just have to say I appreciate that, and keep going. You're totally a planner.
They made you seem like Zach Galifianakis' character in the movie made it seem like you're a bumbling idiot.
Well, that was just the
to make it goofy,
comedic. Yeah. If you were to have it be like an actual dramatization
Zach
of the whole situation,
would not have been the main character.
No.
But keep going.
Actually,
sorry to interrupt you.
And where I forget, one of the things I forgot to plan is I forgot to buy a money belt.
A money belt?
I looked at them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I could carry money, and so I go and I've got a small box full of 20s and 50s, and I go get in Kelly Campbell's truck, and we head off. And I thought they had arranged transportation for me, and they didn't.
So then
because
what?
we get to Columbia, South Carolina, and guess what? The airport is closed.
Why is it closed?
I'm like, because it's a podunk airport, or it was back then, and they closed down at around 9:30. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to have to take a bus, or I've got to get further away. And I'm like, we need to make a money belt. So I'm like, Kelly, go into the store, get some pantyhose or something, and some duct tape, or some electric tape, some kind of tape. And she comes back, and she did use her brain. She bought some medical tape, and we stuffed 20s and 50s into it, and made about 3 laps around my chest, taped it up good, and I stuffed about $12,000 in my cowboy boots, and I got on a Greyhound and went from there to Atlanta, from Atlanta to New Orleans, and New Orleans to Cancun.
Jeez.
So you just trusted these guys, you're going to just leave, like, pretty much all of the money with them and trust that they were going to not just take it.
Well, and this was very naive of me, I admit, but I thought, okay, there's 5 for me, 5 for Kelly, 5 for Steve, and then there's be 2.5 for expenses. And my explanation was, you use this $2.5 million to move my 5 to me, and whatever's left of that, you can have. I thought that's a more than fair deal.
Yeah, you're doing all the work.
I'll take the rap for it, and all you gotta do is send me my money. That's all I want from you. All you gotta do is sit on it for about 6 months and ship it down to me in boxes. You can smuggle anything you want into Mexico. They really don't care. And I don't know why they wanted to cut me out.
Greedy.
Or where that came from. Oh, yeah, greed. But, you know, it still kind of pisses me off to this day.
It should piss you off. They treated you not nicely. They were mean. Like, they were selfish and rude. Sorry, but they were.
They planning that the whole time.
Well,
sure.
Like, they're not good people.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I found out later
sad.
Well, when I watched, before we even, like, had you scheduled to be on the show, and I watched the movie, like, I was mad when I even just watched the movie before I even, like, knew that I was going to be in contact with you. And now that I, like, know you, it, like, makes me, like, quadruple mad and sad.
I'm just going to find them. Are they still, are they out of prison? Because Frenzy might go looking for them.
No. I just...
Yeah, they're out.
I don't know.
Let's see, I think Steve is in North Carolina, and I think he runs a gym. I don't know what happened to Kelly or Mike McKinney or any of them others, but
he's not still married to his wife, right? Steve?
I have
he probably
no real idea.
Crap.
Yeah.
Not only did they cut you out of the money, but they tried to have you killed.
Yeah, that was the first thing they talked about. I was like, well, I found all this out later, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and I just like, oh, the first thing y'all voted on was to kill Dave. I mean, that kind of hurt my feelings, you know.
Well, yeah. But you also shouldn't take that personally because they don't care about anything about but themselves. Like, seriously. So, so you hear that. I mean, I can imagine that just, like, hurts you to the core. But also, like when you first find that out, that's the situation that's happening. Like, then what do you like? Obviously, you did what you did.
Oh yeah, well, you know, once I got into prison, good. I thought, being the very sometimes stupidly logical person that I am, I'm like, I've got all this time to myself. Mm-hmm. I might as well do some self-improvement. So I went. Get this. Guess where I went? To the library.
You did?
To the library.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, most self-help books are chock filled with crap.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You've got to read the whole book to find the nuggets of wisdom and take what you can use and take what applies to you. And so I started just walking, you know. I'd make a lap and I'd be reading. And I found myself starting to exercise and started to read more. And eventually what I did was I became a tutor in they had like GED classes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I started teaching people how to read and
That's
do basic
awesome.
math. And I was a clerk for the electric shop for about 6 years.
So you basically decided to not just feel sorry for yourself and be miserable for the time that you had to spend in jail or whatever, you know, the time that you spent, but you chose to make yourself better and help others. That's really, really admirable and awesome.
Well, I looked around and I thought, what are these other people preparing themselves for? Because, you know, they're going around and their life, the way they live their life doesn't change a bit, really. Mm-hmm. They run their little gambling service and they are still watching stupid TV. They don't read, you know, they're not taking any time to improve on them. Mm-hmm. I thought, I can do better than this because I'm not really a people person and crowds bug me. Mm-hmm. And that was the worst part of prison, was being trapped with 1,000 people I don't really like. And so I thought, well, I'll just make me better and not ever come back. And that was my whole driving goal. You know, and the hardest thing for me to admit back then was that Dave was an asshole, and he would fix it. You know.
Yeah, well, I'm sure a lot of people don't really take advantage of the things that you can do in prison, especially if you've got a lot of time in there to find ways to, learn things, better yourself in some way. How long did they give you?
It was 96 months. Or thereabout.
What's that? Oh my God, I don't want to do math.
Right at 6 years.
Okay. And you served that whole 6 years?
Yeah, because I realized when I got right down to the last bit, I realized that I didn't want to go to the halfway house, and they make you go. And the halfway houses are privately run, and they make you get a job, and then you have to give the halfway house like 30 or 35% of your earnings.
Okay. Yeah, the prisons are privately run now too.
Yeah, and we could probably do a show on the prison system.
Oh my God!
But,
that would be super interesting.
The prison system.
Another time, maybe. Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. And I'm like, I don't care what my status is in society. I'm not going to be extorted by nobody.
Right.
I was supposed to show up 12 hours after I left that prison. Somehow I was supposed to get from that part of North Carolina to Florida in 12 hours.
What?
For what?
Yeah.
For like a recheck or something?
To show up to the halfway house.
Oh, gotcha.
And I took 3 days. I went and visited my father's gravesite and spent some time with my mother and my sisters and brothers. And when I got to Florida, I called the halfway house, told him where I was, and I went right back and did another 6 months.
I was going to say, yeah, that's awesome. You got to do that, but they're going to throw you right back in for that, huh?
Oh.
But was it worth it?
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that's better than giving some butthole my hard-earned money.
Right.
Yeah. Somebody who could send you back for nothing.
Right.
Yeah, what did you want to do? Like, what was your plan when you got out?
Originally, I had this, I wanted to get into commercial scuba diving, and then I realized the school down here cost, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of $15,000.
Jeez.
And I was like,
what? To be a certified scuba diver?
Probably gotta get equipment and stuff.
Yeah. Plus, you gotta buy all your equipment, all your tanks, your suits.
Yeah.
And I was like, F this. And so I found a job with a local company drilling water wells, and never looked back since. And I thought when I went in to the interview, I thought, this guy's going to find out I'm ex-con. He's going to kick me out of here. You know what I found? Most employers could care less about what I did years ago. They want to know what you're bringing to the table today. That's all they care about. Right. They live in, most businessmen are forced to live in the real world, and they don't care what you did.
Right.
It's like the employer I have now. He's like, he knows that. He thinks it's awesome that one of his employees was in a movie, and
well, it is a pretty darn interesting story, my friend. You can't.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing. A lot of you weren't like a violent offender or anything like that either. It wasn't like you had committed some kind of violent crime or hurt somebody physically. There was no weapons involved. Anything like that. It was nobody really got hurt.
No, I look at it like you had an opportunity that probably wasn't maybe the best choice, but not like a lot of people wouldn't make that choice, and that choice was made, and you had to suffer the consequences because of that choice. But at the end of the day, I think it also, because of that, made you probably realize more of the person that you kind of want to be, and like those choices led up to who you are now.
I try to be very philosophical about it. if I hadn't have done what I did, I would not have my beautiful wife and my beautiful daughter and the great stepchildren that I have today.
Yeah.
And, I'm not real rich financially, but I know that every time I walk in that door, I'm loved.
Mm-hmm.
And that counts for more than anything. Yeah, that and she makes me coffee. Yes, baby. We're talking about
She's making me a cup of coffee.
Oh, yeah. We live off caffeine. So.
That's awesome.
When did you guys meet?
How many years has it been?
Oh.
How long have we known
That's the wrong question, dude. You can't ask her that.
We met shortly after you got out, Dave.
What year was that?
What year do you think it was?
Oh, shit. I'm in trouble now, guys. Run, flee.
2003?
Yeah.
2003?
2002 or 2003?
2004.
Oh, 4. Okay.
Yeah. So it's
Your
been a few years.
wife's name is Kelly, right?
No. Her name's Christy.
Oh, Christy.
Kelly's
The other. Oh, yeah.
Kelly's that bitch that's
I just heard him say Kelly a couple times. Okay. Tell Christy that we said hi and that she's it's okay for her to be mad at you for not remembering when you guys first started dating.
No, don't give her permission to be mad.
Okay.
She'll take full advantage of that.
You guys are cute.
You got did Steve and Kelly end up having a longer sentence than you? They must have.
They did because they had conspiracy to commit murder.
Yeah.
Well,
good.
You didn't even get to spend any of that money. What did you get? Like $50,000 or some crap, and they were spending millions.
Yeah, right around 100,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've got another 17-some million dollars.
Right?
Yeah.
And then they try to freaking kill you just to boot.
To boot.
Yeah. To boot.
But they didn't get you.
No, they didn't.
They didn't get you, dude.
No. I'll tell you, a weird part of the story is when I met Mike McKinney for the first time. I talked to this dude, and I told him where I was, and he shows up on the front door, and I was getting ready to go scuba diving, and I'm standing there, and I've got my scuba gear all laid out, and he's looking all nervous, and I'm like, that just set the, how when something's just not right, the little hairs on your neck?
Mm-hmm. The intuition.
The little hairs on your neck just kind of,
yeah.
Yeah, and so I just kind of backed away from him. I said, just put the money on the floor and go, dude. And he wanted to be all social. I'm like, no, just burn the road up. Yeah. We met a few times. After that, we met in public because he just felt off. Mm-hmm. And then on one of my phone calls to Kelly, she let slip because she's like, he had told me that they had the same thing planned for her that they had planned for me.
Wow.
Yeah. So, anyhow, it wasn't long. About 8 months, I jumped around that part of Mexico, scuba dive, fishing.
So you were a pretty good scuba diver then?
Not really.
How about fishermen?
Oh, yeah, you guys are fishermen.
Well, yeah. I'm a fisherwoman.
Oh, a fisherwoman.
Yeah. So, I got to tell you a funny story. So, in Minnesota, we obviously have like the panfish that I was talking about earlier, and we use leeches, minnows, frogs for like northers and stuff, and then obviously like the fake bait stuff like jigs and whatever. But when I was a kid, I used to go fishing with my dad and my grandpa, and I would stick my feet in the bucket of leeches and like let them stick to me because I thought it was fun when I was like 5.
It's so weird.
Or 6 or 7. Like, my grandpa talked about that forever. My parents still talk about it. Like, I don't know why. I was just like, I'm just going to let them do this and see what happens.
I hated leeches when I was a kid.
But I can bait my own hook. I can take the fish off. I can clean my own fish. I can change
then you're a keeper,
lures.
by God.
Oh, yeah,
right?
She's not your ordinary woman. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, sometime I'm going to have to come visit you and do some saltwater fishing because I've never done that before.
Oh, it's fun. Great.
She can hang with the dudes. That's for sure.
Cool.
Yeah. So, does Christy like to fish too?
No, she likes to eat fish.
She likes to eat the fish. Okay. So it's like you go out and catch them and she cooks them up and you guys eat them. It's kind of a good give and take.
Oh, yeah. There's a balance there. Go figure.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So now you're living down in Florida, enjoying the weather, living the good life.
Mm-hmm.
Family, fishing, photography.
Yeah, we want to talk about your photography a little bit. So it's kind of been, a passion of yours for a while?
Well, yeah. When I was in high school, I wanted to take photography, and I was kind of into sports, and I realized how they treated the school photographer, and they considered him a nerd. I'm like, so I kind of put that hobby to the side, and it kind of sat on the shelf for a long time. And here, maybe about a year ago, I guess, I started getting interested in it again. And, Christy, being the wonderful wife, hooked me up with some online classes for photography. And
nice.
We're working towards maybe starting some kind of business. And she's working on a paint-along video type business thing.
Oh, very cool.
And
of course we have the blog.
And we started doing a blog because my very wise wife, when we started talking about doing the movie, she was like, this is going to be a potential for a really great opportunity. We need to put some stuff out on the internet that's positive and shows people, that we're regular people. And she said, people are going to be interested in your life, so we need to start putting some stories on there. And she started DaveandChristy.com. It's an extension of our Facebook page. And it has little blurbs and stories. And
well, the best part is called One of Those Days.
And she says one of the best parts is, what's it called, One of Those Days?
Yeah, it's all the bad Murphy lives with us stuff.
Yeah, it's all the Murphy lives with us stuff. The things that people don't really talk about on Facebook,
Yeah.
One of our cars, we call it the Murphy car.
Like
because
Murphy's Law?
Oh, yeah.
Murphy's my co-pilot.
Murphy's more like our co-pilot. It's left me on the side of the road in some weird times and weird places. One time it broke down in the car parts store parking lot.
Oh, jeez. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. What do you think about, this is totally just an idea, and you don't have to like it if you don't want to. I'm just throwing it out there, but using your photography skills, and then also maybe, people catch big fish and they want to mount them, or, basically mount them and take them to the taxidermist and have them mounted. What if you did some kind of situation where you took pictures of them with their fish instead, because it's way cheaper, and you could send them and they could frame that photo. It's like them standing there with this awesome fish kind of thing, or in addition to having them mounted, something like that. So you could combine, the fishing love with the photography love.
That'd be cool.
I know, but how we need to figure out how to promote that.
And pictures of people with the fresh crocodile kills.
Well, it doesn't have to be a crocodile.
Crocodiles or gators down there?
It's gators.
We have both,
Gators.
actually. But most of the crocodiles are all in one place.
Two different kind of monsters.
So that might be getting hooked up with a fishing tour company or something that goes out and takes people on fishing things and whatever. I don't know.
And just meet them at the dock when they come back, and everybody holds up their catch.
Yep.
Yeah. That could work.
Oh, I bet you can pull some crazy stuff.
And then you
out
could
of those
take
waters.
pictures of the sunset or the sunrise when you're out getting ready to go out. You could capture the whole experience in pictures, and just get more experience doing it. I don't know.
I bet you could pull some crazy stuff out of those waters.
We pull some awesome stuff. One of my most memorable fishing trips is going out to Guana preserve. And what they did is they built they call it a dam, but it's, I don't know what the technical term is, but when the tide comes in, and when it reaches a certain height, it fills up Ponte Vedra Lake.
Okay.
And there are certain months of the year where the tide runs high enough that the redfish and black drum come in. And me and some buddies hit it just at the right time, and we filled both of our limits in like 15 minutes. But we also lost about 7 or 8 fish to alligators, because the alligators know, I don't know if they got a calendar in their back pocket or what, but they know.
Yeah, well,
and they come down.
They're in sync with those constant things in their environment for sure. They know when that stuff comes every year.
Oh yeah, and they know where to be.
That's crazy. So they're just snatching fish from you guys.
Oh yeah, they did just rip them right off the hook. You go from like a 15-pound fish to just a head.
Wow.
That's one of the things. If I was going to put out a travel brochure for tourists, I would advise them: welcome to Florida. Enjoy our beaches, have fun. But if you're near a body of water that is bigger than 10 feet across, there's probably something in it that's reptilian and will either poison you or bite you. Because it's funny, being an outdoorsman down here, and you see people who are from northern climates, because they're either pasty white or they're bright red, and they're putting their face and hands in places any Floridian would never go near.
Are you calling us pasty, dude?
Oh, I'm so pasty.
We're up here in Minnesota.
My teeth match my skin color right now. Like, it's bad. I'm serious. Like, today it was sunny outside for a little bit, and I was like, I'm going to take my computer and sit out on the deck for, like, a little bit, and, like, couldn't even soak up enough of it. I was just like, oh, I love it.
Yeah,
it's been raining for, like, a week straight.
You got to be scared to... I would be scared to walk near any edge of any body of water down in Florida.
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
Not the ocean.
Yeah. Oh, not the ocean, no, but...
but, like, lakes and ponds and stuff?
Jellyfish in there,
Yeah, just sharks and jellyfish. There's just other monsters in that big body of water.
So what city in Florida are you in again?
Don't tell people where you live.
Well, you want to tell us your address.
No, don't do it.
Are you... Okay, so you're on the Panhandle or on the coast, like,
I'm in
down south? Okay,
Yeah,
Jacksonville.
you said that.
Is that...
Northeast
I don't
Florida.
remember, sorry. Is it close to... So I've been to Florida 3 times. Once Naples, Marco Island, and then Fort Myers, and then Miami, and then one other time.
Fort Lauderdale?
No. What's the other one? Not Fort Lauderdale, not Fort Myers. Okay, I can't remember it. Dang it.
Tampa?
Tampa Bay. Tampa.
Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa's on the other side.
Okay, now I get
Great
it. Great
fishing over there, too, so...
Okay.
So what team do you...
But,
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, just remember, the further south you go in Florida, the more alligators you're going to encounter.
Yeah, I drove down Alligator Alley because I drove to Miami, and saw a couple of them just like in the kind of the reserves area, which I think is crazy that they just have these on the side of the road. They just have like a fence, and it's just miles and miles of wetland and marshlands and whatever. And
everyone's just cool with giant lizards just rolling.
It's
around.
like driving through the fields of North Dakota.
Crazy.
There's nobody there.
I can't imagine it.
And it's just kind of swampy areas on both sides. And
like gators, they're like the bigger, fatter ones that are kind of slower but crocs, those are the ones that are like skinnier, right? And they'll like actually chase stuff.
Those are the ones that like attack like gazelles out of the water in Africa.
Gators do too. That's how they do. They do that big death lunge, like
they both do. Yeah. And then they do the twist, and then they hide them. Like then they take their prey underneath the water, and they hide them under a log and save them for later.
Yeah, some lunch.
Ugh. Yeah,
they prefer the Minnesotians.
Yeah. They're total dinosaurs, though, don't you think? Like,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of animal documentaries, like especially when David Attenborough is the voice. I just love all that stuff. Like, I think the Earth is amazing, and all the animals that are on it, and plants and all that stuff, and how they kind of coexist with each other. But every time there's like one where it's like, oh, there's this baby lion and it lost its mom and it's probably gonna die if it doesn't find her, I like can't watch it. Like, I have to turn, like, I get like I want to cry, like I can't do it. So I have this like love-hate relationship with those stupid documentaries, because I get it, like that's how life is, but I don't like watching it. But I like all the other stuff.
It's like one of my favorite. This is kind of not right, but one of my favorite YouTube videos is the couple. They're filming and they're up in Alaska and they're following a pod of orcas and they're so beautiful, so beautiful. And next thing you know, there's a seal just hauling butt, and he's trying to make. And he gets up on this little iceberg and they all cheer. Next thing you know, these orcas turn around and they do that thing. They make the big wave. And the next thing you know, you see the little seal flying through there. I'm like,
oh yeah,
that's
so crazy.
Nature is ugly sometimes. They're like, they're all crying. I'm like,
they just mess with those seals sometimes. I've seen videos like that too.
Where they toss them up in the air.
Yeah, they're just like teasing them, messing around.
I know,
playing
it's
with
crazy.
Their food. Their moms didn't teach them not to play with their food.
Well, but you also have to think, like, they're probably 27-year-old men. Like, they're just doing what they feel like they need to do.
They're teaching.
The orcas are acting like 27-year-old human men who don't know what they're doing. Yeah.
I've got a brain. I'm going to take it out and play with it. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Their moms did not teach them not to play with their food.
Well,
That's what it is.
I feel like their moms don't stay with them. Like, it's weird too how some animal groups, the moms stay for 2 years, or they stay with their moms for 2 years, or immediately they're dispersed. Like, they're like, see you later.
Yep, see ya. I'm done with you.
Yeah.
I made you a nice egg. See ya.
Exactly. And the moms never, like sea turtles, like they never get to see who their babies are. They just put the eggs in the beach and hope for the best, and they leave. Yeah. It's just evolution and how it works. But then there's other animals too that like mate for life. Penguins.
Yeah.
So many there's certain monkeys, like different, all kinds of crazy animals that mate for life. Like,
yeah, you don't see that as often though. Most of the time, animals are just kind of slutty.
It's mostly birds, I think, that mate for life is the most common. I feel like.
And then lions, they just got this harem of lionesses.
Yeah, but there's also like
I got like 8 wives.
So Nicole Appelian was one of our previous guests, and she was on the history show Alone, and she has done a lot of like research and has traveled and visited and spent time with a tribe in Botswana, Africa, which is kind of at the point where like the flooding kind of ends and then everything becomes green and there's all this wildlife all around. And I watched a documentary like right after she had gone there, and it had talked about, obviously, like, lions are in prides. The male is kind of the dictator or the boss, and he protects the pride, but the women still do all the hunting and all that stuff. Well, in the actual town where she was in Botswana, I saw in this documentary that there was a female lion, and for whatever reason, her genes created her to have like the hair of a mane of a male lion. So any other pride that tried to come in and attack their pride saw her and thought that she was a male, and so she was kind of this like extra protection against any other pride that was trying to, get into their pride. So I thought that was kind of crazy, because I'm like, I know somebody that's there right now, and I can't believe that that is an actual thing, that there's female lions that portrayed, and she actually acted like a male lion too, like had that whole persona. So that's kind of crazy, just to think that nature just kind of develops that for whatever reason they think it's needed, and they're like, yep, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Nature just works that way. When it sees a need or a vacuum, it creates what it needs.
I know.
But isn't this interesting? We have gone from bank robbery to...
we talked about so many things.
Yeah. Fishing and your talking about being a Libra and a Gemini.
Yeah, the zodiac thing. Yep, I know. Yeah. Well, this is what we kind of explained was going to happen, and I hope that it's better than rehearsed shows or events that you've signed on to do.
Dave, you had no idea what you were getting yourself into this evening, did you?
I was. This was actually what I was hoping for.
Yay! Good.
Because, I'm not against doing promotions. Like I did some promotions for 20th Century Fox when the movie came out on DVD, and they asked really politely. They were very nice. They sent me some free DVDs and stuff, and the guy was really cool. But canned interviews are atrocious, and you can tell the reporter's bored.
Yeah.
And they know you're bored, and they're just trying to do their job. And those are probably the worst interviews ever because you're not allowed to stray.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, it's very rehearsed and planned.
You just talk about fishing on those interviews.
No.
No, not at all.
They don't care.
Well,
and they usually have like the same 25 questions.
Yeah. No, that we wanted to be able to hear your story and share your side of your story, and we think it's super interesting. But that's not. I mean, that's a cool part of you. It's a part of you and your experience. But we also wanted to get to know you now and learn about you before that, and just because we think that you're an awesome person. So just any conversation that we have with you, like that's basically what we were hoping for.
Mm-hmm. About the only two subjects I really don't ever talk about is religion and politics.
Same. We are exactly the same. Never.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
because
how did I'm curious? When the movie came out, did they approach you about it like before it was ever actually in the works or
yeah, Relativity Media called me. Let's see, probably 7-8 months before they were going to film. Zach wanted to meet me. And the first little Relativity guy called, and he wasn't very convincing. And I've gotten prank calls before.
Yeah.
From coworkers and stuff, and I told him to beat feet and F off, and I hung up on him.
Oh, nice. On the was it you hung up on Zach?
No, I hung up on one of the Relativity Media people.
One of the media guy, okay.
And about 45 minutes later, I get another phone call. And it's a guy that's a little higher up, and he states his case much clearer, much better. And I talk to him. I go, yeah, sure, I'll talk to whomever. And then Jared Hess, the director, called a few days later. And I'll be honest, I had to Google his name on the computer to see who he was.
Yeah, I've never heard of him.
He's the guy that did Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, and, nice.
What was it, Nacho Libre or something like that?
Yeah, was it
Napoleon
Napoleon Dynamite?
Oh, what's his name? He's like, my lips are super chapped. I need chapstick.
Napoleon?
That guy? Yeah. Was it actual Napoleon?
No, the director.
Oh, the director of Napoleon Dynamite.
Not Napoleon.
Oh, I was like, I can tell. Well, I don't know.
And,
I know.
I just like Napoleon. I like
Napoleon. So he calls you.
Tina, eat your food.
So the director calls you, right?
Yeah. And we talk, and while we're talking, I'm Googling his name, and I'm like, and he says, we would really like to sit down and talk to you. Zach wants to talk to you, wants to get a feel for the story, and he's going to base his decision to do the movie on meeting you. I'm like, sure,
great,
whatever.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure at all. And I'm thinking at the time, this is never going to happen. I've got these calls before. And so I put it out of my mind, And then a few months later, People's Relativity Media calls, say, hey, Mr. Gannett, we'd like you to come out to L.A., meet Jared Hess and Zach, sit down, have lunch, maybe dinner, meet some of the relatively immediate people, and we're just going to talk about the movie. And, well, okay. And they flew me out to L.A., and I sat down and had a late lunch with Zach and Jared Hess, and I was, you know how you have a stereotype of a particular person, and I'd watched some of his movies, and I thought, this guy can't be all that bright, because he plays a moron.
Right.
And come find out, it's just the opposite. He's a very intelligent, very caring person, great conversationalist. One of my favorite stories is we were on set, and he and Kristen Wiig were waiting for their shot to come up, and it's like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. We're doing some of the night scenes, and those two are standing under a tent, and they're entertaining each other. They're making up a Pantene commercial, and they're making each other laugh. And Zach's doing his, the cliche hair toss, and they're just being uninhibited comedians, and they're just trying to make each other laugh. And that was the greatest 15 minutes ever.
Yeah.
Because those two together are really, really funny.
Oh, yeah, they're hilarious. David, please tell me, did you have that haircut back in 1997 that Zach Galifianakis was rocking in the movie?
No, I didn't. They would not have allowed that beard or that haircut.
Right.
Back then, I usually kept a high and tight flat top.
Yeah. Why did they decide to go with that hairdo and that big crazy beard?
Because they have to add. It was all like added value. Like
so crazy.
Well,
they went over the top.
If they had shaved the beard off Zach, no one would have recognized him.
Right. Exactly.
That's kind of like his brand.
He had like this Dutch boy hairdo going on or something. Is that what you call it? Little Dutch boy or something? What would you call it?
I mean, but it was 1997 too. Like, I remember having a pager in 1997.
Dudes did not.
I graduated high school in 1997.
I know, but dudes didn't have. I'm talking about his hair. Zach Galifianakis' hair in the movie.
Well, yeah, but he's portraying somebody in 1997.
Oh my God, nobody had that hairdo in 97. Do you think?
Do you remember? No. Yeah, I feel like I graduated high school in 97. I feel like there were maybe a few people that had that hairdo.
There were dudes that had that hairdo?
I mean, Minnesota is the state of hockey. Like, hockey players had that hair for sure.
Oh, man.
Maybe not the beard, but...
She's like, you're defending the hairdo, aren't you?
Well, I'm just kind of defending because I feel like really old, but... I graduated in 97. Ugh.
It reminded me more of like a 70s hairdo.
No, I don't know.
We're getting hung up on this hairdo.
Yeah, that's too much. We're paying too much attention to the hairdo. Okay, so David, we talked a little bit about your photography stuff that you've got going on, and that how you realized that maybe when you kind of wanted to start doing it, you felt like you were going to be portrayed as a nerd, but then now you're like, I'm just going to go with it because who cares? And you really are good at it. So what would you like to see happen with it? Like, do you have any kind of things planned for that? Or
I think my pipe dream job would be to be like one of those wildlife photographers that goes out to these remote places and takes the really spectacular landscape pictures and I don't know how those people make any money because that's got to be bloody expensive.
Yeah,
but
it's probably a tough one to.
That's kind of my pipe dream, and that's what I'm probably going to work towards.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, well, even if you don't end up making a big income off, if it's something you enjoy doing, why not, huh?
Yeah.
You go out there. You're gonna go out there and for a week and just kind of live off the land and take photos? Are you good at living off the land?
Well, like I said, I've been an outdoorsman my whole life, and I've made a frying pan out of aluminum foil and cooked over a fire.
Yeah.
One of my favorite fishing trips was me and some buddies when I was in North Carolina. We went trout fishing, and we got up there, and I realized I packed some pots and stuff. I didn't have a pan or skillet. One, I'd left them sitting on the kitchen counter, and I brought some aluminum foil, and I made me a little frying pan out of aluminum foil, made a fire. Trout came out of the water, cut it off, gutted it, right into the thing with some butter.
Frenzy will always tell you, in a survival situation, make sure you bring a pan. She is about...
Yeah.
That's one of the important tools.
Well, yeah, or something that you can boil water in or make soup or whatever.
Yeah.
That's like one of the 10 C's, a container.
Yeah.
Some kind of vessel that you can put over fire.
Yeah. Well, what do y'all think about those survival shows? It's like my favorite is Les Stroud.
Oh yeah, Survivor Man. Love Survivor Man.
Oh, because he does it all by himself.
Yeah. Have you listened to any of our episodes with Alan Kay or Nicola Pellion or Mike Lowe? You should, if you haven't, you should listen to all of them.
I will.
Well, so I'll give you the premise of why. So if you like Les Stroud, so they were all a part of the series from the History Channel called Alone, and they basically get put out.
Have you seen it?
Alone on History Channel.
I've watched 1 or 2 episodes.
Okay.
But I just, for some reason, I just can't get interested in it.
Okay.
That's one of the few shows though that I think, like Survivor Man, where the show is actually legit, because there's a lot of those reality show that they're pretty much entirely scripted.
I can think of one right off the top of my head.
Man vs. Wild.
Bear Grylls. I got a bone to pick with him, because if you're in that type of situation, running and jumping like a gymnast through the forest and across mountains, that's just going to lead to a broken ankle or a broken neck.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Right. Well, I think with the Alone thing, I think it takes a little bit longer to become invested in the show, because there's not really a whole lot going on, but eventually,
it's over a long period of time.
It's over a long period of time, and I think that eventually you just become invested in the characters, and not the characters, but the people themselves, because I feel like all of them are really true to who they are in the show and then in real life. But it just takes time to be able to do that. But I tell you what, like all 3 that we have had on Sarge Approved before, they are amazing.
They're pretty cool.
Very cool people.
Yeah, I like the show, but Survivor Man is cool because he's out there by himself and he's filming everything by himself for like a week at a time with like nothing.
Yeah, but that's what they're doing too. They're filming it by themselves.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Those shows, they show the emotional stress that situation puts you under. You really, in as far as being like a teaching tool, they're fairly poor. But you see the stress that people get under, and you watch them, like most of them lose 8-10 pounds, and they're just, you've seen some of them just mentally break.
Yeah,
right. No, I get what you're saying. Like, it's more of like you get to experience the whole the whole situation versus maybe another show where it actually teaches you something, and that's what your purpose of watching it is to learn something and gain knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
versus watching their whole experience and being a part of that. I get that.
Yeah.
What did Alan lose for weight when he was
60 pounds.
Yeah, 60 pounds.
Yeah, because I think most people don't even realize how difficult it is to find enough food roaming around and laying on the ground
absolutely.
to maintain.
Especially in an atmosphere where it's raining constantly all the time. I mean, the first 2 seasons they were on Vancouver Island in Canada or Washington, close to the border of each, and it literally rains like 250 to 300 days out of the year there. It's crazy.
Yeah, making a fire under those conditions, and keeping your morale up, is difficult.
But I also think it's better than like a Survivor type show or any Naked Afraid.
Those are dumb.
Like those are not like, these are actually like legit experiences, and you can like relate to them, and they're real, and all that stuff.
I think the probably Alone, Survivor Man, and then like Life Below Zero. Those are probably the three. You know, Life Below Zero. Yeah, that's like a survival show. Those are probably the three most legit ones, in my opinion.
Yeah, and there's also the fishing one. What's that one? Where they're the crab fishermen.
Oh, Deadliest Catch.
Deadliest Catch.
That's
I mean,
that's probably got some scripting.
It probably does too, but
situations.
there's some crazy stuff that happens too.
But we're talking survival shows, like the what's that one?
What were you gonna say, David?
I also like River Monsters.
Yeah, that one's good too.
Oh yeah. I haven't watched much of that, but I've.
And there's another one like Ice Pilots or something about air, like pilots that fly during crazy times across tundra, and they're using like old World War II propeller planes, like
the old bush planes.
There's no way that's. I mean, part of it's probably a little bit elaborated.
There's just so many crappy reality shows out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when they approach me to do a reality TV show, I'm like, listen.
What did they want you to do?
I told them. I talked them out of it. I said, if you knew how boring my life really is, you wouldn't follow me anywhere. They wanted to follow me around and film me at work, and they wanted to put me in situations. I'm like, listen, bud,
you would have hated that.
I need a situation in my life, not a bit.
Yeah, that
situation list.
Yeah, you wouldn't have liked that.
No, that would have pissed me off.
Unless you're like, if you want to pay me for 2 weeks straight to just go fishing and you can record me fishing.
Yeah, you probably make decent paycheck.
Then that would be fine. But other than that, no thank you.
Yeah. Hey, if you want to finance my photography expeditions and fishing expeditions, sure. Buy me about 15 GoPros and a Winnebago, and we'll get out of here.
Yep. Otherwise, no thank you.
Yeah. I mean, how quickly would people get bored watching me go back and forth on a bulldozer? It's not like we're the Kardashians here.
Yeah, because that's when they start making up like these stupid scenarios and the drama that they add on all these reality shows. They're just making up scenarios. It's like loosely scripted, just drama.
It's a crappy soap opera.
Oh yeah, very good. Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. Very poorly written soap opera by people that aren't actually actors. They're just normal people.
Yeah.
Like, here, pretend this happened.
I think I've watched 30 minutes of the Kardashians.
Oh,
it's too much. That was even too much.
Are you okay? You okay, dude?
You might have brain damage.
Brain hurt.
Right?
Yeah, I gotta go read a book. I'll be back.
It's so annoying.
I have to go to the library and just sit there for a second.
I need to recoup.
I know. I don't know. It's crazy though to think. I mean, that's kind of the world that we're living in now. And I think about like friends and family that I know that have like younger kids. Like I'm not scared or really worried, but I'm super interested to see like how it turns out when your kid who is now 5 graduates from high school. It's just crazy.
I'm amazed that our society worries more after a chick with a plastic ass than the things in our life that really, really matter.
Absolutely.
It boggles my mind.
Sad world.
I'm like,
everyone's focusing on Kim K's butt.
I literally got rid of like TV in my house, like cable TV, any news situation. Basically, the only time I ever look up anything is to see what the weather is. And then if something big happens, then usually my mom calls me and tells me about it. But I can't even watch the news anymore. Like, it's just pointless. Like, there's no...
Yeah.
I don't care about who did what, like, evil grossness that's going on. Like, just let it go.
Well,
I can't deal with it.
I grew up watching Walter Cronkite. And when he would do an editorial, he would tell you, this is my opinion, and this is separate from the news. And he would sit down and do an editorial.
Yeah.
And he was very eloquent about it. And I think our news media has become so wrapped up in, getting the story first instead of getting the story right.
Exactly. And telling the story the right way.
Do you think he got to really say whatever he wanted during that little editorial piece? Do you think that was legit? You think he really got to say whatever he wanted to say?
It probably was a little bit edited, but I think for the most part, he got to get out the whole the gist of what he was trying to say.
You think so?
Yeah. Otherwise, it wouldn't let him do it.
How do you even know?
Well, you don't, but
who knows when the corruption in the media started?
I think that he had enough credence as a journalist that, he would probably run it by the producers and stuff, what he wanted to say.
Yeah.
But I think they would have allowed him a lot of leeway. And I think, that would have been late 70s thereabout. And, I think it's really gone downhill since then.
What did his voice sound like? Wasn't it? I'm Walter Cronkite. Was that how it went?
Yeah.
Is he the that's the way the cookie crumbles? That's not him, right?
That's the way it is.
That's the way it is. Okay.
That's the way it is. I can't do Cronkite.
I mean,
I think
Walter Leland Cronkite Jr.
I think when I start trying to do a Walter Cronkite impersonation, that is a good time to wrap this
Well, you know
thing
what
up.
though? He was born in 1916 and he died in 2009.
Holy crap! He was like 300 years old.
He was very healthy.
Oh, it is time to pull this train to the station.
He was 92.
Jesus.
Let's
pull this into the station. You guys ready?
All right, cool. Yeah.
David?
I guess.
I know.
I wanted to look up...
It's got to end sometime, my friends.
I know, but I wanted to look up the quote quick.
That's the way the cookie crumbles?
No,
that's the way it is.
That's the way it is, or something.
That's the way it is.
Or that's the end of the story. I don't remember what he said.
That's the way this podcast crumbles.
Okay. Fine.
David, thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
Yes, David, thank you. And tell Christy thank you, too.
Okay, I will.
Okay, good.
All right, David, again, thank you, and you have a wonderful evening, my friend.
You too.
Thank
Y'all
you.
have fun.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
It's outro time, frenzy.
It is outro time.
Let's do the outro.
Let's do it.
That was our guest, David Gant.
David Gant was amazing and super fun.
Yes, awesome dude. He's got a very interesting and notorious story, and he's living a wonderful life after that notorious story.
Absolutely.
Living it up down in Florida and fishing.
Doing some photography.
Just loving life.
Yep.
So we feel very honored to have been able to share some time with David Gant and get to hear his story before, during, and after what he's, become famous for.
Well, basically just his life in general.
Yeah. He's definitely one of the good guys.
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to join the Avengers.
Yeah, he already has.
All right, beautiful. All right. Well, should we let the people know where they can find us?
Yeah, we probably should. Our website, which is sargeapproved.com.
Yes, you can find us on Twitter,
YouTube, Instagram,
Facebook,
Google Play Music.
Just run with it, Frenzy. Go.
Stitcher.
You can find our episodes on Stitcher and iTunes. YouTube. Spreaker.
Yeah.
Google Play Music.
I already said that.
Oh, did you? Okay, we'll go there twice.
Yeah, go there twice. Yeah. And it's all basically at Sarge Approved.
Yes. We're on a bunch of different podcast platforms. Just type it into your browser, Sarge Approved. You're going to find us. I promise you, it's not difficult. Check it out. And while you're at it, check out our sponsor, NationalSurvivalCenter.com. That's where you can find them. They've got everything you're looking for when you're looking for outdoor gear, camping gear. You're looking to stock up for the zombie apocalypse because the zombies are banging at your door right now, people.
Yep.
So you better be stocked up. Shit's hitting the fan.
Yep. They also have a Facebook page, an Instagram,
Twitter, all that good stuff. National Survival Center. You can find them on NationalSurvivalCenter.com or
SurviveDon'tSuffer.com.
Go there. They got free shipping on all their gear. You're going to find all this top-of-the-line gear that you can find in all the big box stores. But here's the caveat, people. It's way cheaper. Way, way cheaper. And you're going to get some top-of-the-line gear for a way better price. So check it out.
Do it.
Do it. Survive.
Don't suffer.
That's their motto.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. All right. We are going to play this episode out with a song by one of our favorites.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name, Frenzy?
Cullah.
Yeah, Cullah. With a song called Who Am I?
It's such a good one. You guys are going to love it.
Love it. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks, you guys. Bye.
Later, fuckers.
Who am I? Who was I? Who can I be tomorrow? On the road of life, a light shines down and paves the way for me. A ways to go, some ways to go. I can only be the man I'm supposed to be. But most of all, I'm the ghost of love. Ooh. I slowly fall right down to get back up again. Who am I? Who was I? Who can I be tomorrow? Oh, yeah. On the road of life, a light shines down and paves the way for me. A ways to go, some days to go. But I can only be the man I'm supposed to be. It's me. But most of all, I'm the ghost of love. I slowly fall down to get back up again. So say goodbye to aches and cries, and say hello to loving all your blues away. Yeah.